Are you a great cook, able to make unbelievably tasty food, but when you serve it up, you miss out on that look of wonder from your guests? That could be because you've overlooked the importance of composition in plate design. Today, I'm delving into the fundamentals of plate composition, why and where ingredients should be placed on a plate. I'll be covering the fundamental aspects such as lines and shapes, negative space, and the interplay of scale, tension, and contrast. Understanding these concepts is important for anyone looking to elevate their plating skills. Without considering composition when designing your plate, a dish may lack the visual appeal that complements its flavours. Plating composition is at the heart of combining culinary expertise with visual artistry. It goes beyond simply placement of food on a plate. It's an exercise in creating aesthetically pleasing arrangement that elevates the overall dining experience. These components, from the swish of a sauce or the placement of a garnish, are crucial in achieving balanced presentation, if that's what you're going for, because, like all art forms, knowing when to use the rules and then when to break them is fundamental to growth in your chosen field. Now, if you've ever struggled with where and how to start in plating your dishes, I've got just the thing for you. I've created a straightforward, free checklist to guide you in your plate design. This Plate Like a Pro guide is perfect for when you're preparing a new dish and want it to look as good as it tastes. The appearance of a dish can truly enhance its flavours, and this checklist will help you achieve that with ease. Please feel free to download it now by clicking the link below, and make sure that your next meal is not just delicious, but visually stunning too. Lines and shapes in plating serve as the silent narrator of the culinary story. They guide the eye and define boundaries.
For example, I like to do circles on a plate, and not just because they're aesthetically appealing, but because they frame the sauce.
Okay.
I don't have sauce leaking all over the plate. I don't like that.
So it's got function as well.
It's functional.
Lines, like brushstrokes on a canvas, can subtly yet powerfully guide the viewer's eye around the plate. Imagine a delicate stream of sauce weaving its way through a medley of vibrant vegetables. This linear element creates a sense of movement and directs attention to the focal point of the dish. Lines can also be used to define boundaries and create structure. This visual separation ensures that each element stands out, enhancing the overall presentation. Shapes, on the other hand, can evoke different feelings. For example, a plump, round tomato suggests softness and warmth, while a square arrangement of ingredients convey order and precision. But saying that, working with the natural shape of the food is always important.
What I've got is different shapes. So I've got peas and broad beans are obviously slightly rounded.
Yep.
I've got slightly spiky looking sea herbs. We've got some sea fennel. We've got some sea purslane, which is a bit softer, like a leaf. We've got some marsh samphire. We've got some, and the radish is cut into little rectangles, like little batons. The fish itself is kind of almost little squares, or a square piece.
The artful interplay of lines and shapes can transform a simple dish into a visual feast, inviting diners not only to taste, but also to appreciate the culinary creativity right in front of them. An intriguing aspect of plate composition is the rule of three, and the use of odd numbers in arranging elements on a plate. This principle stems from the idea that odd numbers, particularly 3, are more naturally appealing and effective in capturing attention. In the context of plating, applying the rule of 3 can mean presenting 3 key components or using groups of 3 elements, like 3 slices of meat, 7 dollops of sauce, or 5 vegetable garnishes.
I normally like to do odd amounts of dots.
Yeah.
That's kind of like as a base. I'll do that pretty much the same. Again, like I was saying, the beetroots quite often.
This technique creates visual interest and balance, drawing the eye across the plate in a way that even numbers simply don't. The reason behind the effectiveness of odd numbers, especially 3, lies in their ability to create asymmetry and intrigue. An odd number of elements on a plate forces the eye to move around more, engaging with the diner and making presentation more dynamic and visually stunning. The rule of 3 is not a random choice, but a deliberate design strategy to enhance the aesthetic appeal of a dish. By being intentional with this rule, chefs can add an extra layer of sophistication to their plate designs, but also to appreciate the culinary creativity right in front of them. Thanks for watching so far into this video. Discovering that there are others out there who are as passionate about food aesthetics and plate design as me is what inspires me to delve deeper into these fascinating topics. I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts, your questions, and even your own experiences with plate design. What aspects of plate composition intrigue you? Are there any specific techniques or styles you'd like us to explore in future episodes? Let me know below, as your input will help shape the future of the content, ensuring that I can continue to provide engaging and educational culinary insights. This is a fundamental yet often overlooked element of plate composition. It refers to the unoccupied areas of the plate, the spaces between and around the food items. Far from being merely empty space, negative space plays a crucial role in highlighting and framing the plate of food, much like the mat around a piece of art in a frame. By skillfully utilizing negative space, chefs can create a sense of elegance and intentionality, allowing each component of the dish to stand out distinctly. And why did you decide to go off-center, do you think?
Because we're going to finish it with the jus, so it's nice for that to pull right in the middle of the plate and it doesn't slop to the side then.
Okay. So a very sort of practical reason.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Because I think it's my eye to never like stuff off-center. It's weird, isn't it?
It's funny because the rule of thirds in photography,
Yeah.
having a little bit of photography background, I always have things slightly off-center,
Okay.
just to draw the eye to that
Yeah.
focal point.
Okay. In practice, effective use of negative space involves resisting the urge to overcrowd the plate. It's about finding the perfect balance where the plate doesn't look too sparse or too busy. So this strategic use of emptiness can emphasize the dish's focal point, directing the diner's attention to specific ingredients or preparations. It allows for a more structured and clean presentation, which can enhance the overall visual appeal and even influence the diner's perception of taste and quality. Exploring negative space in plating is akin to an artist knowing when to leave parts of the canvas untouched, or in other words, to know when enough is enough.
Restraint is
Yeah.
key sometimes. It's too easy to throw all of your mise en place onto the plate.
Yeah.
There's a Netflix film and there's a little quote from it I like, which is, it looks like a mise en place hand grenade has gone off in your plate.
Scale plays a significant role in the art of plating, referring to the size and proportion of various elements on the plate in relation to each other. It's about thoughtful consideration about how each of the components, from the main course to the sides to the garnish, fit within the overall presentation. The scale of the items on the plate can drastically affect the visual impact and appeal of the dish. When a chef gets the scale right, it creates a sense of harmony and balance on the plate. For instance, a large piece of protein dominating a small plate can appear overwhelming, while teeny tiny garnishes on a large plate might seem lost. The key is in achieving proportion that is pleasing to the eye and makes sense for the dish. This involves considering the visual weight of each of the items and adjusting the proportions and placement to create a cohesive composition. The importance of scale extends beyond just aesthetics though. It also communicates the chef's intention behind the dish. For example, a large, centrally placed item might be used to showcase the premium ingredient, while smaller, delicately arranged side elements can indicate a refinement and an attention to detail. Scale can also influence the diner's perception of value and satisfaction. A well-proportioned plate, where every element is in harmony, not only looks appealing, but can also make the dining experience much more satisfying. In essence, mastering the scale and plate design is about creating a visually appealing and emotionally resonant experience for the diner. Tension in plate design refers to the visual and conceptual dynamics created between the elements on the plate. It's about crafting a sense of movement and interaction that captures the diner's interest and elevates the overall presentation. Unlike traditional concepts of harmony and balance, tension introduces an element of surprise or contrast on the plate that can make the dish more engaging and memorable. In practice, creating tension might involve juxtapositioning different textures, colours and shapes in a way that is unexpected yet visually compelling. For example, placing a crisp angular element next to a soft round one, or combining bright vibrant colours with much more subdued hues. These contrasts create a visual push and pull that draws the eye and piques curiosity. Another way to introduce tension is through strategic placement of ingredients. Placing a component slightly off centre, for instance, can create a sense of imbalance that intrigues the eye, urging it to explore the entire plate. This deliberate imbalance can make a dish more dynamic, adding a layer of sophistication to the presentation. Incorporating tension in plate design is a delicate art though. It's about finding that sweet spot, where the elements on the plate are in a lively dialogue with each other, creating a visual and sensory experience that is both unexpected and delightful. There are some starting points when creating tension, but like with anything, learning how to create tension and design just takes practice. Contrast though is another way to achieve visual interest. For me, contrast is one of the most important design principles to learn. It's another key ingredient in successful plating. It can be the difference between exciting and boring. It can make something stand out rather than hide. There are many different types of contrast. Contrast between big and small, dark and light, vibrant and dull, complex and simple. When something lacks contrast, it can be totally forgettable and not very exciting to see. Low contrast makes nothing stand out. Once again, I hope you've gained valuable insights into the intricate elements that can transform a dish from the ordinary to the extraordinary. From the dynamic use of negative space and the compelling rule of three, to the thoughtful application of scale and the intriguing incorporation of tension. Each aspect we've explored today plays a crucial role in creating a stunning plate of food that now tastes as good as it looks. And if you've enjoyed this journey into the colourful world of plating, you'll love the Food Envy podcast right here on this channel. It's where I talk to professional chefs in their kitchens about their visual side of food, who inspires them, and we even watch live demos to showcase their plating skills and techniques. It's a fascinating dive into the minds of culinary experts and have the chance to see firsthand how they bring beauty and flavour to each plate. So for more insights into the art of plating and captivating conversations with pro chefs, be sure to check out the Food Envy podcast, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with all the latest content. Your engagement helps us all to grow and learn from each other, turning every meal into a visual feast. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep creating dining fables worth telling.